Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube show. Today I'm going to talk about Nero, who was the emperor of Rome from October 13th, 54 AD, all the way to June 9th, 68 AD. He just ruled the country for for 13 years as emperor of Rome, and he was the last Roman emperor of the Julian Claudian dynasty, which was the dynasty of the Caesars, which were the relatives of Caesar. So he was adopted by his granduncle Claudius, who succeeded him and placed him as the heir to the Roman Empire. Nero was declared emperor of Rome by the Patrician Guard, his grand his granduncle was Claudius did when Caligula died, and he was the emperor of Rome at the time. So when Claudius died on October 13th, 54 AD, he was poisoned by his wife Agrippina the Younger, who was the mother of Nero, when she gave her husband poisoned mushrooms, and he died because the mushrooms were poisonous at the time. So that is why his father died at the age of 63. Well, his granduncle Claudius died at the age of 63 at the time. So Nero was born on December 15th, 37 AD in Actium, which is located in Italy today, but then it was under the Roman Empire at the time. He was the son of Agrippina the Younger, and Gaius Domitius Adjobarbus, who were the parents of Nero, and his grandparents were Germanicus, who was the son of Tiberius, and Agrippina who who was Caligula's sister. And Nero was also the great great grandson of Augustus, who was the first Roman emperor from 27 BC all the way to 14 AD, when he died at the age of 75, while he was sailing his boat through the river in the Roman Empire at the time. When Nero was a kid, he really liked gladiatorial games. At the time, he really liked it because that's what he really enjoyed. He enjoyed chariot races and theater performances while he was a kid. And actually, when he was the emperor of Rome, he started riding in his chariots in the Olympics when he was the emperor during his 13 years as emperor at the time. And also, during the rule of Caligula, who was the emperor before Nero and Claudius, Agrippina the Elder, who was Nero's sister, was exiled for plotting to overthrow Caligula, who was the emperor of Rome at the time. So Caligula's rule just lasted from 37 AD all the way to 41 AD at the time. So he died from multiple stab wounds in January 41 AD, and after he was ambushed by the Patrician guards on the Palatinian Hill at the time. So in 49 AD, Emperor Claudius of Rome married Agrippina the Elder, the Younger, in 49 AD. So he married Agrippina the Younger, who was the mother of Nero at the time. So in October of 54 AD, Claudius was killed by his wife when his wife gave him poisoned mushrooms, and then he died while he was eating with his wife. in 54 AD, and he died at the age of 63. So after that, his mother Agrippina the younger wanted her son to take power as emperor of Rome, which was successful, and the Patrician Guards also declared Nero as the new emperor of Rome following the death of his grand uncle Claudius. So Nero entered the public life as an adult the first time in 51 AD, when he was only 14 years old. He entered the public life as an adult in 51 AD. That's when he appeared public. And when he turned 16, that was the time when he became the youngest emperor of Rome, the young emperor of Rome at the time. And Nero also married the daughter of Claudius, Claudia Octavia, between 51 AD and 53 AD. They were married. No, it was June of 53 or 51 AD. Nero was married to Claudius' sister, to Claudia Octavia, during the first marriage. So Nero became emperor on October 13th, 54 AD at the age of 16. So he was the youngest emperor since before Elbegalus, who would become the emperor at the age of 14 in 218 AD, that's kind of a hard way to pronounce his name. So he would become the emperor at the age of 16 during his rule, and during the first 5 years of Nero's rule was pretty relaxed because none of his parents were being killed at the time during the first 5 years of Nero's rule, and Trajan described the period, the first 5 years under Nero, the best time, because no one was being killed in the Senate at the time. So during his rule, there was no one being killed, and Nero's tutor was Seneca, who was a Roman tutor to Nero at the time. He was a Roman tutor to Nero when Nero was a kid at that time. So he also helped Nero prepare Nero's first speech before the Senate. And during his speech, he spoke about eliminating all ills of the previous regime. So he wanted to kill he wanted to kill the ills of the previous regime at the time. During the rule of Nero, he killed his mother Agrippina the younger, because she was forced from Rome, and she went to exile during his rule as emperor. And she was exiled on the island of Misima, which is located in Italy today. She stayed there for about maybe for years. She stayed there for, I don't remember the exact time, but she was exiled. She was exiled to Messenia during the rule of Nero. So the Patrician Guards started sending the Patrician Guards to kill her, and they killed her on March 23rd, 59 AD. She died at the age of 43 when she was killed. And Agrippina's mother was Germanicus. and her mother was Agrippina the Elder, who was the daughter of Caligula. So during most, he liked playing in performances in the theaters, in the plays. He played in the plays in the theaters or the performances, and while he was emperor of Rome, while he was the emperor of Rome, he liked taking part in these chariot races, and then in 66 and 69 AD, he went to Greece for the Olympics so he could take part in the Olympics. So and even now I still remember this one thing from the book I was reading, that under the rule of Nero, when Nero was in the Olympics, he was riding this chariot races, and then one of his chariots broke, and he actually hurt himself while he was riding in Rome at the time. And that was also the first time when he rode in public. When he rode in public in the chariot race in the Olympics. And then also, if you remember, and also during Nero's rule, there was a fire that broke out, and the Circus Maximus, which is in Italy, and that's where the fire broke out, and it started a huge fire, and a lot of people died in the fire, and a lot of people were trapped in the fire. And Nero was not in the city of Rome. He was in, I believe it was in Greece. He was still in Greece at the time. And he heard some reports about the fire, and he thought that the Christians were responsible for the fire, and so he started executing a bunch of Christians. He even executed the two followers of Jesus Christ, Paul and what's his name? I'm trying to remember his other name. That guy who was also killed, one of the followers of Jesus Christ was killed during the rule of when the Great Fire of Rome took place. Paul and I'm trying to remember Paul and this other guy. I'm trying to remember his name, what it was. But anyway, I'm gonna continue talking, and I'll try to figure it out later who it was he killed. So during his time, he started killing a lot of Christians because he thought that the Christians were responsible, because the Christianity was like a real problem for Rome, because they started causing problems for the Romans, and that's why Nero started killing a bunch of Christians, just like his predecessor Caligula did when he was the emperor of Rome. So that I'm going to make a part 2 about this video, about the rule of Nero and his death and the end of the Julio-Claudian dynasty, and I'll see you guys there.